When the demon is at your door, in the morning, he won't be there no more. Now, I know everybody watches my channel might know where that lyric comes from. Let me know if you know in the comments. But man, it got me to thinking, man. You know, a lot of people in the business, a lot of people in the music business struggle with mental health. A lot of us struggled or have struggled, or used to struggle, or still struggle with substances or things or mental health issues. Those kinds of crises can be crippling, man. But it's morning time, right? It's morning and I'm out on the trail. And it's tough when you struggle with those things, right? It's tough when you see your friends struggle with these things. And I'm here to tell you today that there is a light. The morning does come. And look, it's not just mental problems. It's not just substance abuse. Sometimes life can just hand you a big steaming pile of crap. And it could feel like you can't get through another moment. It could feel so overwhelming that you can't go on. But in the morning, it won't be there no more. Now, that's not to say that your problems will be gone. But look, man, if you're struggling with mental health issues and it's spiraling, first of all, if you need help out there, get help right now. Turn the video off and go get help. You know, I'm not a psychologist or a counselor or anybody that provides any medical advice whatsoever. But what I can do is tell you from my experiences. And from my experiences, and I've had my lowest moments where I maybe thought I needed another drink or something and I couldn't get it. And the demon was at my door. Man, when I just stopped and took a deep breath, went to sleep, go to sleep, right? Get some rest. That's your time for your body to recharge. That's the time for your body to reset your mind, reset your body. And you could tackle the next day, man. You could start to work on the problems when things seem overwhelming. And I'll make an analogy here. You know, my wife will every now and then, she'll buy something that has to be assembled. And I hate putting things together that I have to assemble. I absolutely hate it, right? And a lot of times when I open up that box and I see a slew of parts come flying out of the box and bags of screws and all this, man, I immediately fill with dread and I just get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed because it's not one problem. It's like all of a sudden now I've got this huge task to take on. And I know that there could be problems along the way. I know there could be missing parts or bad instructions or, you know, parts that break. And my wife never has to experience that. So she doesn't know when I say, don't buy anything else that you have to put together. Because I'll explain to her, look, we need this screw and it's not in the bag. Now I've got this thing half put together and it's missing parts, or the instructions are like ridiculously bad, right? But here's what I found when I'm overwhelmed. And it's the same thing with life. When I'm overwhelmed, I take a break. I go in the other room, maybe have a glass of water, or maybe I just walk away from it for a little while. I put it aside, right? Forget about it. Maybe an hour later, or maybe the next day, I go in there and I've got a little bit more of an idea of what I got to deal with, what the problems lay ahead, and I've thought about it. Oh, okay, there's a bag of screws, and there's 4 panels, and there's a slider thing. I've thought about it, and now I'm able to process it. And it doesn't just seem like somebody just dumped out a bag of problems that I now have to solve. Now I'm aware of what's involved and what it's going to take. And it seems easier. It's the same thing with any kind of problem. If I start to put it together and I get overwhelmed again, then I take another break and I think about it. Then I come back, and it's amazing how kind of stepping away from the problem makes it so much easier when you come back. You're able to clear your head and get out of your emotions, right? Get out of your emotions it's the same thing with life. When someone dumps a bag of problems, and maybe it's you dumping a bag of your own problems on yourself, and all kinds of screws and doodads and dongles and panels and sliders and all this stuff dumps out on you, and you feel overwhelmed. You feel like you can't go on. You feel like, woe is me. Why do I have all these problems? Sometimes you need to just step back, take a breath, have a glass of water, and maybe even it's the next day. You just go, you know what? I can't really handle this right now. I'm going to go lay down. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to sleep on it. You know, that's what they used to say back in the day. Let me sleep on it. And here's the deal. That's how you can get through these things, right? That's how you can help deal with your problems, realizing that it's not as bad as you thought it was. When you initially get a bunch of problems dumped on your doorstep, next day you realize, man, if I just tackle this one piece at a time, open up the bag of screws and go, okay, get the instructions out and start to take a look at what you got. Start to take a look and do it one step at a time. And I'll say this, you know, for people that did AA, and I know there's other programs out there, but it really is each day just doing what you're supposed to do each day, making a positive step. Life doesn't come with instructions. And if you're trying to make it in business, or the music business, or as a musician, or an artist, or anything like that, there is no directions. There is no clear plan, right? But you know what? You can set instructions for yourself. You can get a piece of paper out and go, you know what? I'm gonna old school it right now. Get a piece of paper and a pen and jot down, okay, here's my instructions to improve things tomorrow. I'm gonna call 3 people and I'm going to ask for some advice. Then I'm going to, maybe number 4, I'm going to work on this one thing that's going to improve my life, or improve my job, or improve my prospects, or, improve my life in some way. And then number 5 will be, make sure I did the 4 things before that. Make sure I really did it, and analyze the people that you talk to that gave you advice. Analyze it. And these should be people that are successful. These should be people you don't. If you hang out with damaged people, don't listen to advice from people that are broken. It's like they're just trying to manage their own bag of screws, and they're falling apart themselves. But connect with people that are moving forward in a positive way, and people that can help you, right? And it's tough when I see people struggling. I've been that guy, at 3 a.m. in a bad way, and, wondering if I'm going to make it through the night, and all that. Going through a tough time, whether it's with a girlfriend or whatever. And man, when it all came down to it, once I went to sleep, woke up the next day, I felt a little better. And as time went on, that demon was no longer at my door. It was just another lesson learned, right? So it's important not to get overwhelmed when you're presented with a problem. And it's the same thing. Somebody were to call me for a gig and dump 80 songs. Here's 80 songs that the band plays, and we need you to play this Friday, and it's Monday evening. That seems like an overwhelming task, and it certainly can be, right? But how do you overcome the sense of being overwhelmed? You overcome that, and then you just go, let me sit down with this list. Yeah, there's 80 songs on this list, but you know what? There's a good chance I might know 30 of these songs already. Or if I really listen to these songs, I might realize, hey, especially with today's music, there's no signature guitar parts. It's the same 4 chords going over and over again over a stupid loop. This is easy. You know what the chart for the song is? 4 numbers with in a bracket with a repeat sign on the end. And that's it. That might be the whole thing. And all of a sudden, that overwhelming thing that you thought was a possible task, but you needed to do because you needed the money, once you sit down and actually take a look at it, you realize it really wasn't that bad at all. You realize that it wasn't as overwhelming as it is. And you know what? It's the same with any problem you may have. You may be going through a tough time. You may be struggling with your mental health. You may be battling a tough battle, right? And again, if it's something that you can't handle on your own, then make that list, and the next day get up and get help. And get help. But know that what seems overwhelming at the time, when you wake up with a clear head and it's a new day and the sun is shining and life is moving forward and the birds are chirping and all that, man, it's not as bad as I thought. And once you start taking those steps, once you start taking those steps in a positive direction, okay, let's start. Got this project I got to put together. It's called Improving My Life. And once I do the first step, it might be a very small step. You do that first step. Boom, I did that. That wasn't so bad. You go down to step 2. Do step 2. Oh, wow. Yeah, I did step 2. Wow, I think, you know what? I think I'll do a couple steps today. And you go down the list of the instructions, right? And pretty soon, before you know it, you've got the whole thing put together. You've assembled something, or you've bettered your life by just clearing your head and tackling it when you're mentally able to. You know, it's a tough thing, man, to see people struggle. Man, I hate seeing it. I would never point out anybody struggling or draw attention to it, because I've been there, man. I know how it is, but man, I so many times would hear that Steely Dan song, When the Demon is at Your Door, and immediately think of the reality of that. That is so true. When it seems like you can't go on, or there's some terrible thing ahead, or life is awful, or whatever, man, the end result is, in the morning, it's all gonna seem like nothing. It's all not gonna be so overwhelming once you're able to address the problem. That bag of parts that you dumped out on the floor, dude, that's the worst. That's the one thing I hate more than anything, is putting something together. But if there's anything that I've learned, man, and it's sometimes when I first dump out that bag of parts, I just immediately am filled with dread and know that there's an overwhelming amount of problems that I got to deal with. But then if I take a break and I come back to it and I realize, well, you know what? I can look at the box and see where this part goes, or I can look at the box and see that, wow, just got to put these screws, I just got to grab the right screws and put them in the hole. I just got to take the steps to get it done. And once you realize that, it's not as overwhelming. And it's the same with life, man. Life can feel like you can't go on. You can't make it another minute. And it's overwhelming, or you've got major issues. And it feels overwhelming, and it feels like you can't go on. But man, when the air clears, when the hard part is over, you realize you can go on. You can keep going. And it's not as bad as you thought it was. It's never really as bad as you think it is once you get some perspective on it. Once you get perspective on it, and once you're able to step back and take a look at what's going on, it's never as bad. It's never as bad as you thought it was. So man, I know there's going to be people that tune in to this video, and they're gonna go, man, I needed to hear this today. The crazy thing about this channel is that happens so many times, where people just happen to, a serendipity, of they needed to hear this message today. And guess what? Today it popped up in your feed. So if this video is popping up in your feed and you've never watched this channel before, make sure to drop me a comment, because maybe it came to you at the right time. Maybe this unorthodox music channel where I sometimes play guitar and I sometimes demo guitar stuff. But most of the time I find that learning how to demo life, learning how to put together life and make things better and help people, that's really what it's all about. And it's not about, licks and pedals and amps and all this, because look, man, if you don't have yourself together, if you don't have your mind and heart in it, then all the licks, all the chops, all the tone, all the gear, all the guitars, all of that in the world ain't gonna fix you, bro. If you can fix what's up here, if you can dial in the tone in your head, if you can get your head together, then what happens then? What happens then is you get so much going on that you can achieve anything. So the most important thing is this. People are struggling, man. People in the music business are struggling. People are struggling in their everyday lives. The reality is this, man. It's not as bad as you thought it was. All you have to do is keep going. All you have to do is keep rocking. But when it gets overwhelming, when life gets to be too much, man, just take a step back, because it'll all be better after you clear your head, after you change your perspective, and after you learn to let it go. Now, I could have gotten ticked off when the guy was yelling in the video just a little while ago, and I looked over there and he was like this, and I was like, okay, cool. I should have gone over there and got him in the video, because he's out there working hard, man. But here's the deal, man. It's more about your attitude and being able to handle times when it's tough, man. If you need help, get help today. Reach out to somebody, and look, for everybody that tunes in and gets help by watching this video, thank you so much, man. It really helps me to keep going and to keep working hard, because, man, I'm one of those people, dude. If I'm sitting around doing nothing, then nothing good is going to happen. So for me to have this purpose to help people, to get a positive message out to the world, for me to be able to come out here and talk to people, well, man, it's helping me just as much as it helps everybody else. And so, man, I have to be thankful and grateful that I have this platform, that I have so many great people that tune in every day. They love the walk and talks. And the great thing is, man, I'm helping people while I'm helping myself. So look, if you feel overwhelmed, get out and do what I do. Get on an old dirt road, dirt and gravel road, surrounded by trees and life and birds and butterflies and everything else, man. And realize, man, it's not that bad. Life is worth living. I know it seems overwhelming at times, but it's really not that bad. It's like that bag of parts. You dump it out, you dump out the problems in your life. You realize, man, I got a lot to deal with. I got a whole mess of problems. But once you take a step back, you realize it was nothing at all. And you will have the glory of putting it all together. You will have the benefit that you did this, that you took care of your stuff. You will have the knowledge that you did what you needed to do. And the important thing is this, man. No matter what, you keep going. You keep going in a positive direction and you keep moving. And you've got sandhill cranes going off in the distance. And man, it's a beautiful thing. When you get out and realize how vast the world is, how much life is out here, then it's just up to you to get out there and start living it. When you realize how beautiful life is, and look at these beautiful birds over here. Look at the beauty of that. That's a mom and a dad and a baby right there. Is that not inspiring? Is that not incredible? That is incredible. Mom and dad and baby. So see, I could have been overwhelmed by this walk. I could have been felt like, man, I can't do this walk. It's hard. There was a brief moment today. I shot a video before I did this, and I thought, man, I'm almost tired now. I don't know if I can go on this walk. Now here it is, man. We're almost 30 minutes in. And you don't think that my motivation today is going to be improved because I took this step. Because I took this positive step, I worked up a sweat. I got out here in the sunshine, and I guarantee you today is going to be a productive day. You know why? Because I made it a productive day. Because that bag of parts didn't scare me, man. Because eventually I thought about that bag of parts of putting together an awesome life. Wasn't that bad, bro. Ain't so bad. So here's the deal, man. Life ain't so hard, bro. You gotta just level yourself out. Get a routine in your life. Do positive things each day. Stay on the good path. Love the people that are in your life and let them love you. It's very simple. Life can seem overwhelming. But man, when you break it all down, all that stuff is meaningless. We're in a vast world with so much life around us. And our problems in the grand scheme of the world are insignificant. So what I want you to do is keep moving forward and don't ever feel overwhelmed, because you know what? You can do it.